Hello friends, this is Dr. Gargi SG Panikal. If you have not gone through all about thyroid part 1 by me, I would really recommend you to go through that first because this is about all the series about thyroid that would be coming back to back. We are here today to see part 2 about the same, and today we are going to cover the topic of hyperthyroidism, an overview, symptoms, complications and its diagnosis. Let us look into what exactly hyperthyroidism is. In simple layman's language, if I tell you what a hyperthyroidism is, it means you are having a thyroid that is overly active. In short, it is creating a lot of excessive amount of thyroid hormones. Now that you have seen my part 1, I would like to repeat a small part out of it, which is that the thyroid is situated in front of your neck and it releases the hormones that is basically related to the control of your metabolism. About this, the metabolism, by metabolism what I mean is it is actually working on the metabolism of your body, which uses energy or produces energy in your body, and hence it is directly linked with your breathing, heart rate, nervous system, weight, body temperature and many other functions in the body. Now when the thyroid gland is overactive, you are hyperthyroidic. Now when you are hyperthyroidic and your thyroid gland is actually looking after the control mechanism or control of your metabolism, it means that your body will process in a very speed up manner when your thyroid is overactive. Now what all will you go through when you are actually experiencing that? What will your thyroid, enlarged thyroid will tell you? You will be experiencing a lot of nervousness, anxiety, rapid heartbeat, hand tremors or even body shivers, chills, in certain extreme cases excessive fever, excessive sweating, lot of weight loss, sleep problems, and many other symptoms. Now that we know what a hyperthyroid is, let us now look into the difference between a healthy thyroid and a hyperthyroid. In a healthy thyroid, you can look at the left hand side of the image. The iodine uptake is nominal along with the nominal release of thyroid hormones. Now, because the thyroid hormones are nominal, it will be regulating the metabolism, body temperature, blood pressure, heart rate, and bowel functions of the body. But if the thyroid is not functioning properly, all these metabolisms would be affected. Now let us look at the right hand side of the page. Here we see a hyperthyroid in function. That is a nominal uptake of iodine or even higher uptake of iodine releases increased amount of thyroid hormones which directly affects all the body's metabolisms, which gives us excessive weight loss, increased appetite, diarrhea and vomiting from time to time, increased thirst, poor skin quality, and hyperactivity. Up until here, we know the difference between a healthy thyroid and a hyperthyroidic thyroid gland and the symptoms related to it. But let us revise what symptoms does our body face when we have increased metabolism due to hyperthyroidism. The symptoms that we face are hair loss, bulging eyes, sweating, rapid heartbeat, weight loss, regular gas, soft nails, sleeping, difficulties, heat intolerance, infertility, irritability, muscle weakness, nervousness, even scant menstrual problems. Now, let us see why and how do we have these symptoms. We have these symptoms related to hyperthyroidism not because of any other reason but because we have less energy sources taken up by our metabolism. That is, the three main sources of energy that we have, that is protein, carbohydrates and lipids, they are not being properly metabolized due to the higher levels of thyroid hormones. What happens to our protein synthesis is that it gets broken down more than it is being built up. That is, the net loss of protein is seen here. And when we are talking about glucose or carbohydrates, we have a decreased tolerance of glucose. That is, our body cannot take up much of the glucose, which makes our blood having higher levels of glucose in it, making us hyperglycemic. Now, what happens to our fat metabolism or lipid metabolism, like we call it? Lipid metabolism is highly increased, due to which the stored fats in our body are also used up to produce energy. But still our body is deficient of energy, because of which we have an increased appetite. We have seen up until now that protein, glucose and fat, all three major sources of energy, are being deficient in our body. Now, because of which we have increased hunger, that is our appetite, we increase our food intake, and still our energy needs are not being met. Now, how do we deal with it? Let us look further into how to deal with hyperthyroidism. Now, how do we watch out for all these symptoms? As soon as we get these symptoms, we would be having a major side of it. All these symptoms were actually very nominal. I would say that yes, we would have a lot of irritation because we are having head to toe problems. But then our internal organs are also getting affected. And how is that? Because of the increased heart rate and stroke volume, the blood pressure would be increasing, your cardiac output and the peripheral blood flow will also be affected, which means that as soon as you see multiple symptoms, you should go and check your thyroid and keep a watch out for your body. What are the complications our body will be having? The major complication our body would be having would be for the heart. And what are the problems that our heart will be having on? It would be having cardiac dilation, congestive heart failure, and arrhythmia. Arrhythmia is nothing but abnormal heartbeat. Now, all these might lead to a sudden cardiac arrest event. Now, to avoid that, we should timely diagnose and look after our body for the other symptoms before it affects our cardiac health. Now, what are the other problems that we might face? Hypertension, osteoporosis, Graves' disease, goiter, and thyroiditis. Now, Graves' disease, goiter, and thyroiditis are other different types of thyroid diseases, and we would see it further. Hypertension is another problem. Because we are all working up our energy levels, we would not be having enough energy to help in our day-to-day emotional or official activities, because of which we might get tense very easily, and along with that our increased heart rate is not So we would be prey for hypertension very easily. Our anxiety levels would be over the top. What do you mean by osteoporosis? Osteoporosis is nothing but thinning of bone or porous bones. So every hyperthyroid patient should look after their calcium levels. Why is that? Because no matter how much calcium you eat up, it will go in spending up your energy rather than giving life to your bones. And hence, you should have a higher level of calcium intake than a normal person. Now let's look further ahead. Diagnosis. Now, how are these hyperthyroidic patients or hypothyroidic patients being diagnosed? They take the serum TSH. Serum as in they take our blood sample and TSH from it is separated and tested. If the TSH is elevated, they check more ahead for the T4 thyroid hormone in the same serum. If it is normal, it means we have subclinical hypothyroidism. And if it is low, it means we have primary hyperthyroidism. What it means is, if the TSH is high, it means we might have the potential of having hypothyroidism, that is subclinical hypothyroidism. And if our T4 is lower count and still the serum TSH is elevated, it means we are definitely having a primary thyroidism, which is hypothyroidism. But right now in this presentation we are concentrating on hyperthyroidism. And let us take some time out for the people who have normal TSH serum. Now they are really lucky, because in this pollution time not many people are having a normal TSH levels, and hence they are really lucky to have a healthy thyroid and hence protecting all their body parts. And if the serum TSH is suppressed or on a lower level, it means that you have the potential of having hyperthyroidism. And when the TSH serum is suppressed or on a lower side, we immediately check for T4 or T3 thyroid hormone. And if it is normal, again it means they have the potential of having hyperthyroidism. If T3 is elevated, it means yes, if they are hyperthyroidic. And if T4 is elevated, it means yes, they are hyperthyroidic. And they might be going through a hell lot of time in getting their body all, getting enough energy for following for the day-to-day work. Now, let us look into the other diseases that hyperthyroidism causes, which is thyroiditis, Graves' disease, goiter, and toxic adenoma. Now, when the TSH levels are on a lower side, T3 and T4 levels are being checked with radioactive iodine uptake, and then they scan the thyroid gland. If this radioactive iodine uptake is low, it means you are definitely having thyroiditis. And if this radioactive iodine uptake is high, then they check out for whether it is homogeneous distribution. Homogeneous distribution as in a distribution that is equal everywhere in the thyroid gland. If it is so, then you are suffering from Graves' disease. And if it is accumulated in multiple small areas, it means you are suffering from goiter. And if it is accumulating in one single area and enlarging the thyroid gland, it means it is toxic adenoma. Let us look into how it looks. Let us now look into how all these hyperthyroidic related diseases look like. If you see the first left hand side picture, is the picture of a Graves' disease woman whose eyes is bulging and goiter is enlarged. If you see on a animated image, you might see her eyes is extremely bulging and the enlarged goiter is making or making her have goiter, which is another disease related to hyperthyroidism. Now if you see the third image, that is on the top right hand side, there is a difference between toxic adenoma, toxic nodular goiter and Graves' disease. In Graves' disease, like we saw in the diagnosis chart, in Graves' disease, the iodine uptake, the increased amount of iodine uptake by your thyroid gland is actually uniform in all of your thyroid. But in toxic adenoma, this accumulation of increased uptake of iodine is in one particular point where the thyroid gland starts to enlarge, making a toxic adenoma or a nodular form, but at only one place. Now if you look at the toxic nodular goiter, on the thyroid itself there will be multiple nodules where all the iodine is being deposited as a reservoir and hence making a goiteric appearance in multiple node forms. Now there is a completely different explanation for thyroiditis. If you see the right hand side lower image, you will see that the explanation of thyroiditis is given. Yes, thyroiditis also has enlarged thyroid, but not exactly goiter. And why is that? It is because thyroiditis is an autoimmune disorder. What it means is our body produces antibodies. These antibodies attack our own thyroid cells. Our own antibody particles from the blood is getting attached to the thyroid cells and damaging our own thyroid. It is also known as inflammation or infection. Now, inflammation means our own body cells eating up our own body cells from other parts or maybe damaging it. And in this condition, we call it as thyroiditis. And hence, thyroiditis is entirely different from the other three. But all four of these is caused because of hyperthyroidism. The very important part of any thyroid problem is the diet. You can reduce around at least 60 to 70% of the problems you have due to thyroidism by maintaining your diet, by understanding your body needs. In this hyperthyroidism, I can give you a menu about it right now. The menu that you can add into your food is cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, kale, mustard green, turnips, rutabaga, soybeans, peanuts, spinach, and even soy. If you see, you can keep your thyroid healthy by eating a lot of proteinaceous diet, lipid related diet, and decreasing the glucose. That's what it all is saying about it. And the very important part is increasing your calcium intake in the diet itself. Also, you should avoid certain kinds of vegetables and even multivitamins. The multivitamins which is having iodine should be avoided by any hyperthyroid patient. Now, there are certain foods that you should be avoiding. That is definitely sugar, because you will be having low glucose tolerance, eggs, salt, that is iodized, that's what it means, because increased iodine intake would only increase the secretion of your thyroid. red meat, seaweed, any sea-related foods. Food should be avoided because those contain high amount of iodine in it, caffeine, and even fried foods. Now, let us look further. The very important part of any diet is having a balanced diet. Yes, you should take your condition into consideration and increase the amount of diet that is good for your health and reduce the amount of diet that is bad for your health, but not completely avoid it. At least 5% of the part that you eat should be from the part that you are supposed to avoid. Now, why I say this is so that your body does not crave for the things that you are supposed to avoid completely. Now that you are giving your body small portions of what you should not eat, it will have the satisfaction of eating it but not harming your body. As you are eating, the more goodness that your body needs. Now you should remember that the food that you eat is every time either fighting your thyroid or feeding your thyroid with goodness. Now, I would like to tell you all about the thyroid diet plan that I am about to put from part 5 and 6. Please hit the bell icon and subscribe my channel. Let's look into the rare occurrence of weight gain in hyperthyroidism. I would be talking about it in the upcoming parts 5 and 6 alongside the diet plan. You should, in the meantime, know that eating breakfast and drinking right amount of water is equally important, just like the balanced diet you are supposed to be looking after you. And the most important part is your complete 8 to 10 hours of sleep and a nice 1 hour exercise each day. And this much would give your thyroid the strength to fight against the disease. Please hit the bell icon. Up next, we are going to see hypothyroidism and about the major diseases related to thyroid are thyroid nodule, thyroid cancer, Graves' disease, goiter, and thyroiditis, which we are going to look at in part 4. If there are any questions so far, please feel free to ask in the comment section. Keep watching, keep asking, keep learning. Please like, comment and subscribe my channel. Till then, do healthy, be healthy. Thank you.